Should I just weigh him and measure him quick?
Just measure him, and then if you want to get a weight.
I'm going to say
47.
walleye. 17.7. You want to wait?
No, just good.
Largemouth. 17.6.
Ooh, that's a nice one. They're all nice.
Ready, Bill?
They're looking pretty healthy, huh?
Yeah, they're looking good.
You guys are
That's a beauty.
this year because I haven't fished at all.
You should be throwing up off the dock. 5 crappie. 8.
Oh,
This is a year 1 bass from Lake Heritage.
how long?
1 year. It's year
5 inches?
5 inches. No. Black crappie. 8. Yellow perch. 10. Seven. Bluegill. 6. Largemouth. 6. Largemouth. 6. Largemouth. 5.
Their area by probably what?
Double.
Yeah. Look at
The
that.
problem if you ever shut that system off, yeah, once
I don't think we can anymore.
Catfish pissing me off.
Man, stick to the net there. Channel. 6. I'm going to say brown.
Bill, thanks a lot for coming out again, working with us out here in the lake. Now that we've had a full year of aeration, do you see any difference in species makeup and also numbers for various species?
The interesting thing is we're seeing a lot of young of the year reproduction both from the white perch and the largemouth bass. In the spring of the year, there was a large die-off of white perch, which was not necessarily a bad thing. It's one of the things we've wanted to accomplish over the years is reduce their numbers. In light of that, though, we're seeing a lot of reproduction from them this year, a lot of 4 to 5 inch white perch in the lake. The other thing that we're seeing is a large amount of young of the year of 4 to 6 inch largemouth bass that have really stimulated and are taking off, and that's extremely good growth for first year from year 1 bass. They're doing extremely well, and what it appears to me is that now that we've created this big open area of more habitat, that these species are actually expanding and growing into that space. So that's something that we should continue to observe as they try to fill that new void that's now available to them during the summertime.
Yeah, my question is really that the fact that the fish population is expanding, but how's the health of the fish that you're pulling out?
We haven't run all the numbers as far as length weights because we're just collecting the data right now, but the appearance is that the largemouth bass weights are very, very good for their length, and the fact that they're reproducing is a very good sign. The fish, for the most part, appear healthy. We're seeing a fair number of the yellow perch, which is something that we didn't find years ago when the white perch were so heavy. So the yellow perch coming back is a sign of improvement there also.
Bill, with our lake in transition right now, do you feel it would be worthwhile to still stock every fall, or should we hold off for a while until we get the lake settled out in one condition or another?
I think stocking is still a good thing, Randy. The putting the walleye in, because the walleye don't naturally reproduce. That's one of the predators. The biggest thing in Lake Heritage, the challenge over these years has been to maintain a good number of predator fish in the lake that will actually help to impact that white perch population. Since they're not a true freshwater fish, they are kind of out of their normal habitat, and therefore they lack their normal predators. So we're trying to get as many predators as we can in the lake to control the white perch numbers, and the largemouth bass will feed on them, but the hybrid stripers and the walleye are another fish that will also attack them, and the hybrid stripers and the walleye don't reproduce on their own, so additional stocking of those species and allowing the largemouth bass to reproduce on their own is kind of the focus of the management program.
Bill, with the increase in habitat here in the lake, do you feel the predator population is keeping up with the prey population, and is the ratio staying the way it's supposed to be?
That's a very good question. It's going to be difficult to determine that at this point, but as we move forward, it's been 1 year really since the aeration system's been on. The fish spawn in the spring, and they're growing into that space. We see accelerated growth of the largemouth bass from what's normal in Pennsylvania for the young of the year, and they're growing into that habitat. It's just something we're going to have to watch as they adjust to that, because right now they're filling that void and growing into that new space. So over time, we'll kind of determine where we need to go with that.
As a closing question for me, now that you've done the sampling this year, where do you think our mix should be if we do stock this year? What kind of predators should we look at?
I think the plan at this point is we're in October, and we've already scheduled it is to increase the walleye numbers and to try to get that population up. We did get some walleye today, and they're healthy and they do well in here. It's just, and they're affordable fish, they do well, and that's the focus of this year. No need to stock largemouth bass at this point.
Okay, Bill, to close out, what do you feel now after doing our sampling is the health overall of our fish population here at the lake?
I don't have the previous data with me to compare, so I'm kind of going off of memory. But looking at what I see some really good signs. I see the fact that the yellow perch are coming back, that they're trying to establish a decent-sized population in the lake. I'm also excited to see all the young of the year largemouth bass. That's a really, really good sign. We do need to keep monitoring the changes, because as they adjust to having more habitat because of the increased area that has oxygen in the lake now, we're going to see an expanse of the fish population, and we need to pay attention to how they change with that change in habitat. Overall, the fish population is pretty good. You have some really nice largemouth bass, some larger size largemouth bass in here. The big concern, as it has been for the last 20 years, is the white perch population, and that's probably always going to be a constant battle.
I'm learning how to do this job.
What do you call this?
What I call him, he's my protege.
Well, wow. The captain.
And the crew.
And the crew. The professor and Mary Ann.
There you go.